Hey. This is Matthew Harvey here with the 12 o'clock siren on the southeast corner of the Leonard downtown square. On my left hand is James. I share too many Epstein memes. Hartley.
I do share too many Epstein memes, and that's okay. It's all right. And remember, taxation is theft.
There you go.
On my left, we got Jason Fuller.
Welcome back, fellas.
Yeah.
How are you?
You doing good?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
I'm pretty good.
Good. I got a question for you.
Oh, what is it?
What did the scarf say to the hat?
I don't know.
You go on ahead, I'll go around.
All right.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get a rim shot?
Yeah.
I don't have that one lined up.
Oh,
get that.
man.
Well,
Well,
but what I do have on my right hand is Rodger Alexander of Sudderth Real Estate.
hey, Roger, how are you?
Doing fine today.
Welcome
All
to the
right.
show.
Fine today, but maybe not fine a couple days ago, though, huh?
No, I've been fighting a little walking to, pneumonia, but I'm over it.
Where'd you
Okay.
catch that pneumonia?
I actually caught it right here in Leonard.
Did you? You just carried it to Canada with you?
I just carried it to Canada with me.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't miss the Canada hunting trip for nothing.
Oh, man. So did you know? Did you know going up there?
I didn't know I had walking pneumonia.
Felt a little poorly?
I knew I had congestion, but
yeah.
found out up there I needed to get some medicine down me and some Z-Packs and some antibiotics to get going.
Oh, wow.
So, how long were you in? First of all,
2
let
weeks.
me pause. Let me
Yeah.
pause here. Roger is the Leonard, Texas real estate extraordinaire. SRETexas.com. Is that right?
Correct.
And that is Sudderth Real Estate. He's the broker here. He has 22 agents working for him. Would you say it's fair that Leonard is probably growing faster at this point, or the potential for growth is faster at this point than any time in its recent history?
Yes.
I mean, is that due to the economy in Texas and just, I mean, what do you see as a businessman here? What are the factors that?
I come out of McKinney with real estate because I left that area and came here for one major reason. All of my investors, their dollar for their buck was to get ahead of the growth and buy.
Yeah.
Leonard had an opportunity to buy Sudderth Real Estate in 2007, so I bought that and brought investors with me.
Gotcha.
And from that point, we've always bought just ahead of the growth. In 2007, we thought we was 20 miles ahead of the growth. Today, we think we're about 5 to 8 miles ahead of the growth.
Wow.
I still think the dollar for your buck is still here.
Yeah. There's still deals to be had, right?
Well, in 2007, I sold land. Let me back up. Let's say in 2000, I sold land in Melissa for $7,000 to $8,000 an acre. In 2007, I sold Pulte homes for $19,500 an acre.
Oh, wow.
So we're not to the $19,500 an acre yet,
But it's
on
coming.
a larger track. But as long as we can stay ahead of the curve,
Right.
and I used to draw a line and say, well, I even told your dad, here's the line. I can show you the line. This property's bringing this, and it's doubled it within 10 miles of here.
Wow.
So we need to buy on this line.
Yeah.
And that's been my success for real estate from day one.
Is that like a geographic projection?
Yes.
So
Interesting.
you said,
I used it.
Buying in lines like that?
I create, and it's
Yeah.
real easy as being
It's
a real
interesting.
estate broker. I can actually go look and see what the property sold for.
right.
So if you go look at 10 acres that sells here, we'll go 10 miles past it and see what it's selling for. Well, if it's half price,
then
it's pretty simple
Yeah.
education.
simple math.
It's simple math.
Yeah.
You buy it.
So you said you came from McKinney. Where were you born? Where were you
I
born
was
and
actually
raised?
born in West Texas, a little town called Eastland.
Eastland, Texas.
Eastland, Texas.
All
A little
right.
town called next to it, Ranger was the hospital I was born in. My grandfather fired 6 sections out in Haskell.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm actually Haskell Weinert boy. And
Is that where you graduated high school?
I graduated from McKinney because my dad got his right hand cut off.
Oh, my gosh.
My father's got the very first man-made hand is made in the United States, and it was built in Baylor Hospital.
Wow.
cool.
Not real pretty, but it's still usable.
Oddly,
Hey.
oddly enough, they have a bronzed hand display there.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Is that is that
Yeah.
is that there? Is it
Yeah.
Baylor?
But he's got the very first
Yeah.
handmade hand, and that's what got me into McKinney, and I graduated there.
Was that a farming accident?
No, it was a rock crusher accident.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Goodness.
That sounds horrible.
Well,
You
it
know?
does, but it got me to me, it got me out of the West Texas area and got me here, and I've never looked back.
Yeah. So do you
I
ever
go there and visit, but
go there and hunt ever?
a little bit, mainly birds.
Yeah. It's did Dad tell you we went bird hunting for the first time in several years? Well, I got me a pointer. Got a pointer. and we were curious about him, right? And we took him out, and he's 3 years old, had never been messed with. Old folks gave him to us. He's hybrid, registered, but never been messed with. 3 years old. We took him to Central Texas to go bird hunting, and he hunted hard. We didn't find any birds, but he didn't even have a handle on him. By the time we got back, he was whoaing, coming to me, responding to hand signals like he was born to it. So we bought some birds and put them out at our place out there in Bailey. And Jason came with us, and we put one up near the house. We came up, dog locked up. Bird came up, Dad shot it. That dog hit the end of the check cord. He was gun shy. It broke my little hunter's heart, man. Oh,
You're not the first one.
No, I know it. So now I got this dog that eats and doesn't hunt, you know. So,
Well, in West Texas, we say you can feed a good dog as cheap as you can feed a bad dog.
that's true. Oh, believe me. Jason saw it in my eyes. He was like, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, you got to McKinney, and you graduated McKinney High School. Did you pretty much immediately go into real estate? Or?
No. I hate to tell people this because I was really dumb about real estate. I was investing in real estate, and I didn't know how. I actually thought that like Keller Williams, they owned all that real estate that they had a sign on, and I was doing commercial deals and using an attorney and another broker there, and one day they said, "Well, why don't you get your license?"
And you said, I never thought of that.
I said, "Well, I can't afford to buy all this property." You know?
They're
I
like,
said,
"No,
"I
sir."
can buy one and do one deal."
It is kind of a misconception. I remember thinking that as a kid.
I did,
Or younger,
it
and
just
thinking that
stuck-
you just own it, you know, but it's not
They didn't
necessarily
own
the
it.
case, yeah.
And I'll never forget, I'll start to call attorney's name, but he said, "Rodger, all you got to do is get them sign this piece of paper, and then you get to sell their property, and if they make money or not, you make money."
Yeah.
I said, "How do I get this thing?"
Yeah. That sounds like a great idea.
And then with my education in college, I had to take 3 courses, and I was in business. And from that, I went to work for a guy named Charles McKissick at RES, and I'm SRE now. We're real good friends. But I went to making top salesman. I made these top salesmen within 6 months of the year I was there.
So what's it? I'm in sales too, right? I sell technology. What's the golden ticket? What does it take to make it sell? Regardless of, I mean, just being in real estate, just grinding. Is that it?
I don't think it's grinding. I think
Posting ambiguous questions on Facebook.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I personally think it's meeting people.
yeah.
And
Establishing a relationship.
we tell people real estate 101 is being available.
Yeah,
Right.
Have a cell phone and answer it.
yeah.
Number one complaint that I have is people calling me and say, "I called your agent. I've called him for 2 days and he won't answer the phone."
Yeah, that's
Yep.
no good. That's
and
the wrong
and
answer.
we get clients from that. So,
Yep.
you know, I tell real estate 101 is being available.
Sure.
And then being open-minded. They tell you in these schools, you be a good guy and you sell one house, and then their kids get old and you sell them a house, and their kids get old. And I'm going, wait a minute, it takes a kid to get adult 25 years.
Yeah.
Hell, that's 50 years. I ain't got 50 years.
Yeah,
we
right.
got to change this plan.
Right.
But
That might work in the car game. You know?
well, there's plenty of people out there needing real estate. All you got to do is have a love for it.
Sure.
My brother's talking about retiring. Not out of real estate, but he's a locksmith.
Oh, okay.
And I said, "Terry, I'll never retire because I've never worked a day in my life in real estate because I love what I do.
Sure.
I get up every morning, I eat, I go home and dream about real estate.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
There's
my dad's
nothing
the
more
same
than
way.
I love than being a pitch real estate. And in my life career, I've had such great success, not only from selling somebody a $10 million deal or $20 million deal. I've had success. I tell everybody the number one sale I ever had was $12,000.
Really, I was going to ask that. What makes it the best deal?
A single woman, 3 kids, needed a house, talked the banker into doing it for her.
Oh,
Cool.
wow. Yeah.
She balled through the whole closing.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
That's
So,
awesome.
But for me,
Yeah.
that was the most rewarding sale I ever done.
So along those lines, I know you do a lot in land, right? You do a
Yeah.
lot with my dad and stuff, and that's kind of his passion is raw land and ranches and farms and whatnot. What's the prettiest place? Doesn't have to be the most expensive or whatever. What is a place that you sold one time that you think you could have? If you're like, man, I should have
Indian
kept
Creek
that.
Ranch right down the road down there.
Really?
230-acre lakes on it, 5-bedroom, 5-bath, metal home, built by the
Wow.
Longs right in the middle of the 2 lakes. 800 acres,
Oh,
road frontage on 3 sides.
Now, I've got an odd one. I've always wanted to own a plateau,
Oh, yeah, that's a
like
great
West
deal.
Texas. I don't know how you acquire a plateau or what it takes to own a plateau.
If I had it out there, I'd sell it to you.
Sure. Do you ever come up with anything like that when you're doing
Never
the
have.
listing? You're like, oh, it's got 2 plateaus. I drive out in West Texas, and I
You
think
love
it'd be
to
really
see the mountaintops.
I read a Louis L'Amour novel about a guy that bought a plateau in Arizona, a mesa. Excuse me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah, what have you? But anyway, yeah, no, that's a cool thing.
I think it'd be cool.
We should when we get famous off the podcast. That's what we should buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a plateau.
That's it. That's it.
I think there's a lot more things you could buy.
It'll insinuate a lot of things.
When does that fame come about?
I'm hoping any day now. Is
Any
what
day?
I'm hoping.
I've been
Yeah.
checking my mailbox. It's not here yet.
Haven't got that mailbox money yet.
The great thing I tell people in real estate is not have a closed mind.
Yeah.
Don't look at selling just a house.
Sure.
Sell a guy, rent houses, female, whatever. I mean, I've got a lady that invests in houses, and I'm so busy I have a hard time. But I finally got one of my agents to meet her, and she'll buy 5 or 6 houses a year.
Wow.
You know what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
She's bettering herself and creating wealth, and we're helping her do it.
Yeah.
I believe in developing land. Developing land's a hard task now.
Sure. Yeah.
But I like seeing downtown areas like where we're at right here developing. And
Permit wise, or just targeting a location, sort of knowing where to go wise. Why is it more difficult?
I love the cities that's growing. If you look at Leonard, the growth about it, but you need to look at what new business is coming here.
Right.
We didn't have a real fight when we got Walmart to come here, except out of the people.
Right.
We didn't have a real fight when Brookshire's come here. I didn't have. It wasn't a knockdown drag out to get Domino's Pizza to come here.
Sure.
We look at the demographics of the area, look at the growth of the area. Leonard is a good area to build.
So when you're looking at that, what are some of the metrics you look to say, hey, this place is, I mean, obviously we can, anybody can take a look and say the Metroplex is growing north and east, and, the 75 corridor, the 35 corridor, I got that. But what are some of the metrics you look at? Like, you see a small town like Leonard when you came 10 years ago or whatever it was.
2007.
Yeah. So when you see that, what do you look and say, oh, this has promise?
To me, when I came to Leonard, I met some of the people, and I really liked the people, and they had Leonard at heart. And when I talked to some of the city councilmen and I talked to some of the people that's around town, they talked about growth. Yeah. You go to a town and you say, well, why don't somebody fix up this building? We really don't want to grow. If you have a town that says
and
they
there are
want
some
to be stale,
around.
I told a guy the other day, he's got mad at me, and he said, you shouldn't have brought this business here. What's about, we want to stay a small town. I said, well, let me teach you one major fact in real estate. Just drive to Celeste.
Right.
If you don't want to grow, that's what'll happen to you.
Right.
And if you stifle the growth, that's what'll happen.
Yeah, and there's towns
if you
around.
Don't keep growing, then you'll go stale, and people won't look at you.
Town will just dry up.
It'll just dry up. And Leonard has not went stale. We still have people interested. New opportunities coming to Leonard every day.
Well, I definitely understand the wanting to keep it like a small town, and I get that, and I understand.
Geographically, though, it's inevitable, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it has to grow this direction at some point, right?
Yeah, and if it's going to happen, you might as well make it and steer it into the way that
that you would rather see it grow.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you look at some towns around that are a little bit change adverse, they may get the dregs of what. Once we get the cream of the crop, they may get the dregs of it.
Well, if you look at demographically at my charts, Trenton is a town that should grow.
Yeah, but they're change adverse, right?
But they're change reverse. They haven't looked. And we got Bobby Pancook right now, but putting a restaurant over there.
Right.
And that's going to be maybe the start of the growth there.
Right. Yeah.
But, who knows?
Well, it's a good location, too.
It is a good location.
That's a dangerous location.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of wrecks right there.
There has.
Yeah, that's true.
And let's add a bar and grill right there.
Right.
Which is funny because Trenton's on 2 big highways.
Major.
Compared to any small town around here, and they remain to be
a little
small
off
town
topic,
too.
a little off the subject. I always thought across from where Bobby's building would make a great spot for a drive-in movie theater.
Well, yeah, it's just a big
I've
field.
always thought that would be perfect there, but
absolutely,
that's beside the point.
Another town that's growing a little bit is Whitewright. They
A
seem
lot.
to be
Yeah.
they seem to be doing the things that are a little progressive and
Right.
a little bit more open to it. You
Mhm.
know, so I mean,
White Rod does some thing, and White Rod is very comparable in size to Leonard. Population, it's comparable. Location, it's pretty
Culture's the
comparable.
same, kind of.
They get a few things that we haven't got yet. I wonder why that is. Do you know why that is?
Oh, I know
Rodger?
why. I mean,
city
our-
easier to work with there or something? Or?
No, it's not. They're not easier to work with. They have more to work with. See, Fannin County back, I don't remember the year, voted to give 0.5% of our sales tax to the county, supposed to better our roads into the county.
Well, where'd that money go?
That is.
Well, you need to
factor.
call our commissioner.
Yeah.
I gripe about that quite often. 'cause
You
see,
listening, AJ? You listening? All right.
And what's
2%
that
is
name?
what the city of White Rock gets to invest.
Yeah.
You know, and they got more money to do things with.
Right. Well, that makes
You know,
sense.
They're Grayson, right?
Yeah.
They're
Tracy
Grayson.
County.
Yeah.
We're in Fannin County,
That
and
makes
the
all
city
the
only
sense.
gets 1.5. A quarter of that percent goes to a road fund, and a quarter goes to our economic development committee.
Right.
So we got we're talking about $3,000 to $4,000 a month that we can play with, where they got $8,000 to $10,000 a month to play
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of difference.
It does.
And what are
Especially
the-
as you scale that out over months and months.
What are
Oh,
those?
yeah.
What are those funds directed at?
for growth of the local economy here.
Okay.
Well,
and,
Grayson,
like specifically, what's something that?
Grayson has.
Well,
Give
I'll,
me
I'll give
like
you
an
a good example. The facade grant for our downtown area.
Gotcha.
We call it a facade grant. It's the taxpayers' money. We created a grant program, and that money comes from the sales tax that we get off of that 0.25%. And we set it aside, and it has made a dramatic difference in our downtown. We own 4 acres that we actually could help give to someone to bring a new business here. We're in progress of doing another deal like that. Continuously growth is how we can do that. Now, if you're like, we had an opportunity to get a complex of apartments. It wound up in White Rod.
Yeah.
Because White Rod had the money. We didn't.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And that's pretty simple math.
We're taking advantage of the facade grant here, as a matter of fact.
Yes, y'all are. And y'all haven't, we were waiting for y'all to finish it so we can pay you.
Yep, it's on the way. It's on the way.
on the way.
It's on the schedule now, isn't it?
Yeah, should be a couple weeks.
Okay.
But it's a
Within weeks.
fantastic program. We take taxpayers' money and set it aside and benefit it for the growth of their city.
So let me ask a question then. This water treatment facility, right? They say it's bringing 500 jobs. Is that accurate? I mean, or ish? Do you
Right
know?
now,
Right
yeah,
now, sure.
It's not going to. There is a thing going on that I'm hearing out there. Can I back this up? One of the guys has told me that North Texas is going to move their training facility out there.
Right.
That will really help Leonard area.
Right.
We had heard that at a meeting.
Yeah, we've heard it in a meeting. That would really help the city of Leonard because it'd be jobs that here. It also bring people from all over the state of Texas
Right.
to Leonard.
Yeah.
You know, and that gets you the recognition. Sometimes is just as good as them living here because then they tell people that, oh man, I was at a little town. It had real eating joints. The people was wonderful. They got good housing. You know, if I was moving somewhere, I'd move to Leonard. The
Pretty
recognition of-
affordable land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell
Pretty
you about this
countryside,
stuff.
too.
We're almost giving it away.
I know somebody that's got 25 acres. Being willing to sell it. Yeah. You can
Yeah.
contact me
So
at
that's,
12 o'clock siren.
All of that is great for us right here in Leonard.
Yeah,
And we do have an old Johnson ladder factory. It was Economic Development Committee that bought that ladder factory. It put us in debt. We actually brought a company here, Yagi. It stands for yet another great idea. They're not employing but 15 to 20 people. But, you know, it's more than what we had before it was there.
Yep.
Right.
It could stay a vacant building, but if you got
Or
a
it
good...
can employ 20 people.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's our job.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's 20 people that are here making money, providing for their family, paying taxes back into the city.
Yeah, reinvesting
Yeah.
that money back.
Yeah, I mean that's a win-win right there.
That's
I
what you
can't
want.
remember the number, but they said for every employee, it's something like $900 to $1,000 a month income to the local area, just from stopping and getting Cokes, candy bars, eating out.
Sure.
But it's an average of about $1,000 a month. Well, that don't sound like a lot. But you take 20 of them. Look at what sales tax that pays.
Right.
Every little bit when you're a small town really, really helps.
Yep.
And that's always been my goal. And keep pushing those. And we've got about 3 subdivisions trying to build here right now.
Yeah.
Can I ask? So there's one north of town, off 1562 or something like that.
1552 north of town, 52. And then there's another one. I think y'all had him on here. I don't know if he talked about it. I heard David Johnson is trying to do one. He's supposed to go to West Leonard Water and
Okay.
have meter.
Cool.
Yeah. The one north of town, I've heard that's going to be mobile homes.
No.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, good.
At $59,000 a lot, it's not going to be mobile homes.
Yeah. Well, that one breaks my heart. No, that's awesome. I'm glad because that was I'd heard that and I got real. I was like, man.
Any idea?
It's right there.
Any idea the size of that development?
About 44 acres.
Yeah, no, but the one that's out there right now, just about put in, it's only 20 acres, 25 acres.
Okay.
1 acre tracts and
cool.
I just talked to the lady today. You know, it's $59,000 an acre to get and
cool.
there's going to be real restrictions out there. They haven't sold one yet, but
they will.
It's a matter of time.
They will.
It's just a matter of time.
Yep.
And they need to put better. I think the street needs to be a little bit better, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's better than what most of them are.
That's right. So, a couple of young guys like us here, you were talking about, you had a lady that buy 4 or 5 houses and stuff. You want to talk about getting into real estate investing, and if you don't want to go the real estate agent route, what are some things like? I mean, I bought the 25 acres. Matthew bought this building. What are something we can do here? What's your advice to people like us 3 sitting here?
I think if you could buy a good, clean house and make just a decent buy on it, you don't have to make a big buy. For me, I tell people you got to have the cash. When you invest, you need to have cash.
Right.
It's like when you go to stock market. You don't go to stock market, borrow money, and put it in stock.
Yeah.
But if you have the cash to buy you one house and get it rented, and a lot of people can't deal in rent homes. That's the reason they buy land. I got rent homes and land. I love rent homes because there's no way you can beat them.
Right.
I mean, if you give $60,000 for a house and rent it for $1,000 a month, 5 years, you got all your money back, and it's just a cash cow.
Right.
Yes, you're going.
So that's your advice to us, then.
Yes.
All right, you heard it,
buy
guys.
a good solid house, and buy one, and you may pay average price for it, but you got to pay cash for it.
Gotcha.
And
not going to hawk for it.
Not going to hawk. I used to run 150 mama cows on my grandpa's 6 sections. I never could lose money because I could always calve out.
Right.
It's the same thing with the real estate market. If you're looking at houses, you won't ever, as long as you can pay cash for it, and as long as it brings in income every month, it'll finally pay itself off.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So you can
always cash out if you need.
Right. And it takes a little time. And I've actually bought a few houses because of location that I paid too much for.
Sure.
But you know what? Would I go back and do it again? Yes, I would.
Right. That's good advice. We should mark that, guys.
Duly noted.
Yeah, duly noted.
But, and I hate to say this, but in real estate, we deal with deaths. We deal with divorces.
Sure.
Crises. And a lot of times that's where those deals come from.
Yeah.
And people lose their jobs. People overextend themselves. We can't control that. I tell them.
Now, how does the normal person come across those? Obviously, you've got your finger on the pulse.
No, most of the time it'll surprise you. It comes from somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody knows that person, and they know, and they said, "Man, there'd be a good buy there." Most of the time, that happens that way. I've only bought since 2007 2 houses in Leonard, and I begged them to let me put them on the market, and I would get them more money.
Yeah.
But as an investor, this is all I could pay. But I said, if you'll let me put them on the market for 1 week, I'll get you more money. But they wanted out of here so bad.
Yeah.
Crisis situation. They just wanted to walk.
Sure.
So that's only happened to me 2 times since I've been here. I know people that don't have a license, it's happened more than that.
Right. Yeah.
So that's just the way it'll work.
Cool. Right on. What little places around here are you seeing unexpected growth? Maybe I know Honey Grove out that way. Maybe I'm not saying
Bailey,
it's growing, but
Randolph.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one right now that's the biggest sleeper is Celeste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Celeste, the property values is going out of sight. you know, they are not going to be able to stop it.
Yeah.
It's hitting them. And
Yeah, they're
just
so
don't
close
know-
to Greenville, too.
It's hitting them, and they don't even know it yet.
Yeah.
But that's probably the biggest sleeper right now out here is buying property in Celeste.
Yeah.
Because of $1 for the buck, it's awful good right
Anything going Wolf City way?
now.
They're kind of just churning.
It's still a ways out.
Yeah.
Wolf City's kind of out of the path.
Yeah.
When you do your arcs from downtown Dallas, I look at originally 100 hour and 15 minutes. Now I'm looking at an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 40 minutes arcs. And where are we hitting on that?
Right.
You know, Celeste hits it every time.
Yep. Yep.
Celeste and Trenton. White Wright's hitting it now because White Wright's a little bit further out than
Yep.
we are, but it's hitting it now.
Yep. A little bit further off 75 and
Right.
121.
And you're seeing Bailey, you're seeing Randolph,
Mm-hmm.
White Wright. That curve there is just it's real good.
Yeah.
But now let me say this: this is just one broker's opinion.
Oh, sure.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Have I been successful doing this? Yes.
Yeah. So I want to slow it down here, I guess, and go to like what it takes to become a realtor, licensing wise, and getting
Education
started.
and-
How does that? You
Track
said you went to
next-
college, right?
No.
Or was it a college class or just a
No,
course?
It's just college classes. All you got to do is have a high school education.
Okay.
You don't even have to have a high school education.
Right.
But they have their classes you take. There's 270 hours, and there's 50 hours after that, and you got to pass a 2-part test, a national and a local.
Yeah.
I know people that are very educated people that can't pass that test.
Sure.
I know people, I don't know how in the hell they passed it. They passed it. You know, I'm serious. It's a hard thing.
Yeah.
Some people can just take tests. I'm one of those lucky people. When I went to go get my broker's license, the day before, everybody got me scared. They said, "Man, have you done any study?" And I said, "No. If I don't know it, I don't know it."
Right.
What do you mean? I said, "Well, I go down there and just ace the test. You know,
Cool.
you didn't study." I said, "If you don't know it, guessing that, you know, what's the deal?" You know.
Right.
But I've been around real estate most of my life,
Yeah.
and I love the game. I love dealing with investors. I love dealing with the single persons. Every part of the real estate to me is no way that it's boring.
Right.
It changes daily.
What's the best part?
The best part's the money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what
I
they
like
say.
that answer.
Yeah.
I'll just tell people up front, would I do it without the money? No. I got to have the money.
Well, you got to pay your bills.
I got to pay my
Gotta
bills.
live.
But I enjoy it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're a big hunter, like we were talking about, and
Yeah.
it provides for that lifestyle, right?
Yeah, but you know what got me? When I originally got into real estate, I worked mainly just summer. Wintertime, real estate was a dead duck.
Right. You were
Well,
hunting.
I was hunting.
Yeah.
I didn't have to work for 3 or 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Well, now that's changed. I have like a lot of my clients, like one of the guys that owns a big tower in Dallas, you know, he spends the summertime now in some other winter place.
Right.
He'll fly to Italy or somewhere else, or, you know, and then wintertime he's here to buy a house.
Sure.
Or what can we invest with? What can we buy?
So when you're talking about, you become you take the test, you go take the coursework, you take the test, you've now, all right, you're a licensed realtor, you found a broker you want to work
Yeah.
for. Okay. So you can kind of specialize too, right? Though I mean,
You
you can work in residential or commercial or raw land. I'm guessing there's pros and cons to it all, right? Or do you want to specialize, or you want to do it all? I mean,
I personally would recommend you do it all.
Right.
And I personally would recommend anybody go to a broker that is not confined to one thing.
right,
And the reason I say that, I mainly was a farm and ranch broker when I came here. 85% of our business was farm and ranch. Now, today, we're like 70% residential. Only about 15 to 20% is farm and ranch. So if I would have only dealt with one special field,
then you're missing out.
I would have been missing out.
You're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, because right now we don't have the big 800 acres, the 500 acres, the 400
It's just
acres
a
places.
swap. Then it's getting bought up. It's getting developed, and it's
How
just
much
flip-flopping.
does farming lease land play into that? Does that take away from some of those sales?
No,
Oh,
not
really?
really. It's cutting the farmer out. I mean, I'll call it. Dr. Cherry's gone. You know, the Cherry Angus Ranch was 293 acres. What was left of it, we busted it up and sold all of it.
Right.
So that farming industry, yeah, they still do some weekend type farming deals, but that one big Angus ranch is no longer there.
Right.
They're
going
that's happening
elsewhere.
all over.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a lot of people upset.
Well, so yeah, and I understand that, but again, it's just it's understanding that change is coming,
And you can't stop
You
it.
can't stop it.
Yeah, I mean, change is inevitable. So if change is coming, you should have it change the
Be
way
on-
you want to see it change,
right.
right?
Be on the good end of it.
Yeah, we luckily have. When we came here, I was the very first one that most of the people in this area had never seen a farm lease.
Sure.
Because when my guys would buy these places, we would look for a farmer and we would make them sign a written lease because we wanted to protect ourselves on what happens on the property.
Sure.
And I'll be honest with you, when I came here, mainly it was a bunch of good old boy stuff.
Oh, of course.
I'll be honest, lock boxes on doors.
Handshake deals.
Handshake, and we list the house and say, well, here's the key, but open it when you can, you know.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lock box. You mean, what's that?
Right.
You know, and that was only 2007, guys.
Yeah. This wasn't the 50s.
This wasn't back in the 50s.
Yeah.
But now it's changed to where every house will have, if someone's living in it, we'll have a satellite lock box on it, so we'll know who opens that box.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's a vacant house, we'll have a combo box on it.
Yeah.
So
And
let me ask a question then. You talk about being ahead of the growth and trying to, you know, even in this area, there are still kind of some, I don't know what the right word is. Like if you go over to like Ladonia and Pecan Gap and stuff, that still seems like pretty far out there. You know, is it worth getting that far ahead of the growth?
I wouldn't think so at this point in time.
Really? Yeah. Because that's
Now,
like,
we'll tell you this. If you buy some land over there for $700-800 an acre,
yeah,
buy it.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
But the price of it per the buck, if you just go back and look at the last year on what half of that tract side is sold for, if it's only up $100 or $50,
It's not
you're
worth
not
the
going to
time.
make any money.
Yeah.
You know, that's what, you know, and when you come to me and say, look, I want to buy this 100-acre tract of land, I may want to break it into 4 25-acre tracts later. Well, I can look a year ago and see what 25 acres sold for.
Yeah.
If I can give you a pretty good projection for next year, what that 25 acres is going to sell for. If it's only going to bring you $100 more,
Is it worth the effort?
most of that over there, if you buy 100 acres, 25 acres, a year from now is going to bring you the same price per acre.
Sure.
But that's the reason you kind of watch that curve. And if you don't, say you're using a different broker, ask the broker and say, well, look, go 5 miles away from this tract. Tell me what tracts this size has brought.
Right.
Help me with that. Or tell me that I'm looking at a 100-acre tract, what his 10-acre tracts brought 5 miles from there,
Sure.
10 miles from there. You know, and you can kind of give your projection of where you're going to be.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's moving about 2 miles a year, 2 to 3 miles a year.
Okay. Oh man, that
Yeah.
puts us right.
So
there
for
in it
short
then.
term return on your investment is definitely
No.
not.
I guess if you had 100 head of mama cows, you needed to put somewhere it might work for a while.
What if you were? Let me ask you this: what if you're trying to find your family place and you want to maybe leave that later on for your kids to split up or something?
That's the place
then
to
it
go.
would be.
Plan.
Then it would be better to venture out that far.
Yeah. You got a real long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want your kids to get rich off of it,
Sure.
right? Yeah.
But you can go back as early as we're in 2019 right now. In year 2007, 2010, I can remember selling a house on Highway 78 because it's one of my investors. I'll go into it's 14 acres. We bought up, paid $107,000 for it. But at that time, it was a good buy.
Right.
Now today is 2019. He just had that place appraised for $340.
Oh
Goodness
my
gracious.
goodness.
So in 9 years, it's tripled.
Yeah. That's a good
So-
ROI there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
So-
need to do that.
But when he bought it, it was just a deal. I mean, a fair deal.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, but it needed work. It needed cleaning up. You know, but
Well,
that's all it was.
That's a good sign.
and that is, I mean, that's where, you know, Dad's bought a lot of land.
Yes.
And he doesn't mind going and sitting on that dozer and doing some of the stuff himself and, you know, and realizing a return on investment there, you know.
Yeah,
So,
it's a great game. I love it, but there's all aspects of it, and I like. A lot of people don't even like. Now I lease a lot of property, but that's where I've got smarter. originally I would just look at a guy. If I liked him, I'd lease him my house.
Oh yeah, you can't
You
do
know,
that.
that was the old days. Now I don't do that. I run criminal backgrounds on them. I run financials.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell every one of them, if you lie to me, you're not moving in my house.
Right.
If you tell me the truth,
Yeah.
if you've had an issue, you explain it to me up front.
Sure.
You know what, you got a chance of getting in there.
Yeah, DWI is one thing. Lying
Yeah.
to me about being a pedophile or something, that's another.
But you've
Larceny.
got to do that on nowadays in this market. You got to start covering your investment. You know, I tell people back. I remember my first investment house. I paid $8,500 for it. That I thought was a lot of money, but today that's not a lot of money. And I remember renting it for $125 a month.
Yeah.
And I thought, whoa, I'm getting rich.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, and I never run no Crown Cake, but it wasn't but that much money.
Yeah.
Today, you know, you're talking houses $100,000.
Sure.
That's
yeah.
a pretty good investment.
That's a chunk of money.
I don't want somebody to take my $100,000 and treat it like it's an $8,000 house.
Hey, yeah. No, I know.
I want somebody to treat it like it's a $100,000 investment
Sure.
or more.
So let me ask you this then. I got two kids. One's 7 and the other one's 5. He's in kindergarten now, the 5-year-old. When he graduates, right, however long from there, when he's 18, what does Leonard look like when he's 18? From this, this is 13 years from now.
It wouldn't surprise me Leonard wouldn't be 3 times its size right now.
Wow.
We're looking around 1,800, 2,000 people in Leonard right now.
Yep.
I think in that time, I think we're going to triple real easy.
Oh, wow. Man,
Because
that's
of the housing developments that I know is in plan.
and there's a
the
lot can
people
change
looking
in the
for-
next few years, too,
There's
right?
going to be
could-
a lot of changes.
We could
Now,
bring.
one interesting thing that we see is the Collin County Outer Loop. Are you,
Right.
I mean, do you know of any future development on that?
Yeah.
that
No,
But
there won't, be
roads-
any, there won't be anything for us on that.
Yeah.
It's going to stay in Collin County, and there's not even going to be an exit ramp on it
Okay.
for anywhere we can get onto it.
Really? That's
Right.
interesting.
Wow.
They was talking about one on 78 and another one on 380. Well, that's a long ways.
Yeah.
Which way you want? You can go up 78 if you get on it, but you can't get off of it. You get 380
Yeah.
Wow.
or get all the way over to 75.
Well, I heard there's going to be another loop around Westminster,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the Perot's bought up a lot of that land and all that. They knew it was coming before. That's how the world works.
Yep.
you know.
And that's that area is really hot.
Oh, I imagine.
That is
I can
really
imagine.
hot area.
Well, I mean, my sister lives in Frisco, and I remember when Frisco was nothing.
Okay.
And Frisco and McKinney. Like I went downtown McKinney the other day, just off downtown. A buddy of mine started a software startup, and I walked into this business park. It's the old gin mill.
Yeah, old
there.
gin mill.
And it looks like Silicon Valley startup. Like
Yeah.
people are there doing startups and technology, and I'm just like, man, that's not far from Leonard. That's not far. So it's coming. And
It's going to get us.
yeah. And so, like we've said several times on this, it's inevitable, and you don't have to like it, but maybe we should be a little bit accepting of it because it's coming.
It's on the
It
way.
is, but right now I'm gonna tell you, Leonard's into a lot of things. We've got to get better with our rules and regulations and our ordinances.
How do we do that?
Our city council,
Yeah.
I think they're on the right path. I'm not going to condemn them.
Sure.
I did get mad at them years ago because they tried to come up with a rental ordinance on single family residence.
Right.
Now, if you own an apartment complex, we wouldn't bother you.
Oh, of
But
course.
if you
yeah.
bought one house, you can buy that house and you can live in it, but you can't rent it.
That's crazy.
That was the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Plus, we got commercial buildings downtown that we're not doing anything on them.
Yeah.
I'm for progressive, and let's do something with
Putting
the buildings
things into
down
use.
the square.
Yeah.
Well, let's not have
What-
government choke the little man out.
What
Right.
ratio? What ratio would you say Leonard is homeowner owned homes to rental homes?
Around 80% is owned homes.
Okay.
So you've got 20% of the household single residence is rental.
Yeah, you compare that to bottom, you're going to be shocked.
Really?
Yeah, what's
so,
that-
okay,
how's that
what is
compare?
It's around 60 the other way.
Really?
Probably about 40% of them own homes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That was one of the largest demographics that Walmart woke me up to. They had the numbers of homes that said, this is how many people owns a home in Bonham.
That's
This is
how they make
many
their
owns
business
a home in
decisions.
Trenton. This is how many owns a home in Leonard. This is how many owns a home. And they had all of it. You know where they picked? White Right,
Right.
and Leonard.
Huh.
Walmart would know those things. If
Well,
that's not
absolutely.
a model for business, I don't know what is.
Have you ever been to Bentonville?
I have not.
Yeah.
Bentonville's an interesting town up there in North Arkansas.
No, but I've been to Walmart.
Been to
Well,
Walmart.
Bentonville has when you drive through it, it's nice. They're like,
Oh,
man, and it's all these, but they their demographics look probably like Bonham.
Their
You
Walmart's just a dump.
yeah. You just
Well, the
don't- you
thing
just
when
don't
I
see
worked
it.
with them, the other thing that really shocked me, and I don't know where they got these numbers, but they were showing me the average income per capita home in Leonard was like $53,000. Trenton was like 30-something thousand. Bonham was down in the 20s.
Ah.
You know, per
Fannin
capita.
County, I think, for a while anyway, was the poorest county in the state.
I think
It
it's
was-
still there.
Is it
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
close?
I think so.
It's still
I think
close.
so. Yeah.
I
think
remember
it is.
that stat from a long time ago, but
Yeah,
also
I've heard
still-
it recently.
Also,
Really?
never mind. I wanna,
But the
I'm not trying to
per
brag
capita
or
income is
anything.
people that spend money. And when they told me that, he looked over at me and he said, "Rodger, look how many restaurants that you have in Leonard."
yeah.
And I said, "People's got money can go out and eat."
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "People that ain't got money is gonna be eating a sandwich at their house
Yeah.
Yeah.
and drinking water."
Yeah.
He said, "If you have money, you can go out and eat."
Right.
Why you got so many restaurants in this city?
So
Yeah.
to that
Because it
point,
supports it.
does Bonham have the restaurants and the stores that it has because it's just the hub of Fannin County?
Because of the courthouse. I tried my best to get a city cleaners here. I think that's still one thing I think this city needs.
Mhm.
And the number one problem with it, every demographic, as they say, they want to be in the city that has the courthouse.
Hmm.
Or you have something like, 30,000 people.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have 30,000 people, but I've argued with them till I'm blue in the face. But if you go around them and you see what goes to, it's professional people.
Yeah.
It goes to the courthouse.
Sure.
So
Wow.
that was
that's
what they
interesting.
told me.
So do you see, like, we talked about Leonard growing over the next, 15, 20 years. What do you see Bonham? I know they're I've read some articles where they're doing some progressive things, trying to get some businesses in. Do you see Bonham changing too? Because, I mean, theoretically, Bonham's right there on 82,
Are we more
78.
attracted to McKinney or Bonham?
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's where the growth comes from, obviously, but you think as growth, we're
If you're
probably
talking
more-
about your kids and your family, they're looking at the Leonard School compared to Bonham School.
Oh, yeah.
What
sure.
does Bonham have? Prisons, jails. What do we have? Why would seriously?
Yeah.
And
You're bumming me out over here,
and I
man.
hate to say it though. I hate to say it. What
Yeah.
about the veteran hospital?
Right. Yeah.
When you actually go to looking at the things that Bonham's got to offer compared to what Leonard is, if I was moving my family to either or and I was moving from McKinney, I would really look at Leonard over Bonham.
Yeah. Well, that's what my dad moved up here to
Right.
teach in the prison, and
Right.
he was like, we're going to go to Leonard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But you take now some people goes up there and buys places outside of Bonham, buys 200 or 300 acres, or
I
100
know
acres
several.
that has done that, and they locked it out there like that.
Yeah, I work with a guy, Marty Roshwerger. He owns he's got registered Angus up there that he does retail style. He's got 300 acres right outside of Bonham. He's a sales guy for Datrium, which
Right.
the CEO has 300 acres in Savoy,
Right.
and so there's a lot of those folk coming up.
This
You know,
segues perfect into next week. We have the mayor of Bonham on, so
Good.
This will be
I
fun.
don't want to be here on that one.
We did.
Yeah,
we did
until
until
this-
2 minutes ago.
till we
We're not
upload
going to
this
upload
episode.
this until
But
next week.
you
Yeah.
need to do one thing when you get him on.
Yeah,
Ask him.
I
why-
just kid about that, but go
but
ahead.
you need to ask him why he gives 0.5% of his sales tax to the county.
Yeah.
we will.
Because every city in the Fannin County does it. All that has to happen is our city managers get together and get it on a ballot.
Okay.
I promise you the people of the cities will vote it in
Okay.
to keep the money in their city,
Yeah.
to benefit their city. Because I guarantee you, our roads out here in the county ain't been proved that great.
No,
Can,
I mean,
can we
Grayson-
provoke change?
Yes, we can, and we're going to. We're going to make that our mission. Grayson County, all of their county roads are paved.
Well, look at Collin.
Yeah,
But even Hunt down here,
Yeah.
they got reground asphalt they're
They
putting on.
did 3/4 of our road
And Hunt,
and then they're like,
what I'm
nope.
saying.
every 200 yards.
yeah, but what's wrong with that?
No, every 200 yards. I'm like, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Yeah.
but they have money to do that with.
Yeah.
You know, I know AJ Self, and I think he's doing a fine job. The problem is he financially don't have the money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's change that.
Yeah, but guess what?
Yeah.
Where is that 0.5% going? I've asked him 2 or 3 times personally. It should be in your budget if it's coming out of this city.
Sure. Yeah.
It's this sales tax for this city. It should be in your budget.
So let me ask a question then. If we were able to retain, if we got it on the ballot, right, and we were able to retain that 0.5%, like a town like Leonard, what does that mean annually? You know, every fiscal year, what are we keeping? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
$80,000 to $90,000.
Jeez, man.
You could put that toward streets. You could put it toward your development. There's a lot of things you could do with an extra $80,000, $90,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily $80,000.
Sure.
Wow.
You know, that's a lot of money to give.
And we don't know what it's being budgeted for
It's budgeted
by the county.
to the general fund of all commissioners, so it's equally up for all cities. I keep asking AJ, why can't we get our, why can't we get on line item for him?
Okay.
But
well, we're going to have AJ on. We're going to ask him that same question.
he'll squirm in his chair. I'll tell you, he squirms every time I ask him.
I'm going to send him this episode. I got his number.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's doing a fine job, and I will tell you, I'm on the economic development committee for Leonard, and I've settled with a great group of guys. And I tell you,
who's on that committee, if you don't mind me asking?
Billy Grimes.
Okay.
Rex Womack.
Okay.
I got to go around and look at the city. I didn't write them all down.
Sure. And sorry, I just put you on the spot there.
That's all right. I wasn't prepared for that, but that's okay. But those
you could have
guys,
said pass.
Yeah.
Well, Big Guy ain't gonna pass. We had Big Bob Hancock on there too. He passed away.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: that group of guys, we don't agree on every vote that we do.
Of course.
But I will tell you this one thing: when they walk out of there, they're all for it. No matter if I voted against probably the major decision. It's one of the best ones we ever made.
Yeah, sure.
I thought it would be robbed and steal from, but I was wrong. But when I walked out of there, I supported it 100%.
Sure.
I feel if our government of all places could do that, because we're so blessed on that economic development committee to have guys that will look back and say, look, we may not be for it, but if it's passed by this board, we're going to support it 100%.
Sure.
Cool.
That's what I do when I go vote. If I vote, like AJ, if I voted for him or against him, it doesn't matter to me. I voted what I was told by my heart. But whoever wins, I'm going to get behind them 100%.
Yeah, hope they succeed.
And I want them to succeed.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and tell Terry McCafflin, me and him had a talk the other day. And I told him I wasn't for you being our city manager. But I said, you are our city manager, and I'm going to support you in your decisions 100%.
Sure.
And I'm doing everything I can to help him.
Right.
Our EDC just, on our budget, we're trying to buy the AED machines for our cop cars.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be on our next agenda to see if we can't help out and also get one of them in the city hall. That's a great thing. And we have the money, we could do it and help the local people in the economy with it. So, it don't matter if you voted for it or against it. If it
And
passed,
$80 or $90,000 would help with that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
How many AEDs could you buy with that?
Yeah, but we're going to be able to buy about 5. I think American Bank, or not American Bank, but Bank One's going to buy 1, and we're only going to be out $3,500. I think.
How many police officers do we have?
We have 5 police cars, so we want to put one in every car.
Yeah,
and we also want to put one in the city hall. We had a city councilman that fell out in Greenville, and they had one there. If they hadn't had that heart starter defibrillator,
he wouldn't be here.
He wouldn't be here. And we don't have any of that here.
Yeah.
And for our city, our size, and our capability, why don't we? So we're fixing to have it.
Awesome. Well, we're about to wrap it up. So just to recap, for folks like us, rent houses that you can pay cash for, huh?
Any real estate you can pay cash for.
Yeah. 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 Any real estate you can pay cash for. Okay.
Pay cash. Look at it like you're investing in the stock market.
Yeah. Sure. You mean you don't want to go on margin there? I've had a bad run at that, by the way. So
I've had one of them myself.
Yeah.
I learned a lesson.
Hey, you know what? What is it? The Wolf of Wall Street when Leonardo DiCaprio's character is talking to Matthew McConaughey, and he was like, "I just don't understand." And he goes, "Nobody understands. We don't know what's going. We just It's just all up there, and you never know. That's how I feel about the stock market.
Yep,
I don't get it.
Matthew,
Land,
what
I
brought you
understand.
and opened a business here in Leonard before we X off here?
Oh yeah. I've created a product for Jeep Wrangler.
Okay.
And I've been working out of a garage in a 20-foot
Got an
container.
opportunity to get here in Leonard?
Yeah, my wife and I moved back here. I went to high school here. My folks still live here. So
I hadn't heard your story, but I knew you
Yeah.
knew something about it.
yeah,
We all went to school together.
yeah. We moved back here and wanted a place to either build on my folks' land, like a warehouse, just so I could work out of, or find something like this that I could warehouse out of, and it turned out to be.
Well, I'm on air, and
Here.
I'll say this: you've really made a large improvement on what I see.
Oh, thanks.
Driving down, and you're on a major street, and I thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Wow,
a blessing to drive around the square and see that the building's been improved to me. I drive around, and it makes me feel good.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, we
this
got that
is,
on and coming on pretty soon.
that's
I'm
good.
telling you, it's on the way.
The Leonard Square is it's famous in the area, and it's the showpiece of
Yeah,
the town, so
yeah.
it should look good.
Well, and also with the facade, thank you for your work and,
Yeah.
and doing that too, and the economic development and all that sort of stuff. Because the city square does look better than I remember it in high school. I think y'all can agree on that.
Absolutely. Smells
It's
better
a different
too.
a different place.
Now,
Some
I do
crickets.
know that North Texas has gave the Chamber of Commerce some money, and we're buying a bunch of lights and stuff for the Christmas. And I'm really looking forward to that
Cool.
because I used to tell people, Leonard reminded me of Bedford Falls on Wonderful Life.
Oh,
It looked just like it to me.
Okay.
yeah. We
it
could just
was
find
that-
Jimmy Stewart to come
Yeah,
in.
yeah. But if you look at the lights and stuff, and I said, Leonard poured it out like that years ago. And I think with the donation they're getting, it's going to help do that again. And
Cool.
it's really blesses this area, I think.
Cool.
People used to drive 30 to 40 miles to come see the lights of Leonard on their square.
Really?
Yes. I was one of them.
Okay.
Didn't ever know about it. Somebody said, let's drive to Leonard and look at their lights. I said, what?
Oh, that should
Challenge
be our
accepted.
initiative. That should be our initiative.
So
Hey, that's it.
But we're the chamber is going to be helping bringing that back, and
Cool.
we're going to be blessed with that. So we've got some money just donated to do that, and that's really going to be good.
Yeah.
Real
Outstanding.
quick before we wrap this thing up and start the questions, you talked about the success that you've had as a broker and that SRE has obviously had. You said you had 22 realtors working
Correct.
for you. If you could just give us what are some of those traits that your team of realtors has that's equated to the success you've had?
I've looked for realtors that are diversified. I mean, everyone in my office is different. Just about. I ain't got two people in my office that would fit a mold and say it's the same. Now, where I'm blessed with that is it's just like I can be with somebody and I can kind of figure out what they're looking for. I've got a realtor that'll fit what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's a blessing.
So you
for
have
me.
someone on your team for every
Just
walk of life, just
every
about.
walk of life.
So you got
That's good.
22 people. How do you feel about having 25?
Oh, that's not a problem.
We come as a trio.
Yeah, we come as a trio.
How would you rank those 22 if you had to put them in order?
But I'll tell you one thing in real estate. Everybody says that 1% of the real estate agents make all the money and 98%, 99% of them don't make any money. My company is not that true, but I'd say about 60% of them makes most of the money.
Cool.
Yeah.
And but real estate 101, come to work every day and be available.
You ready? Yeah.
There you
should be
go.
doing
If you're
that.
thinking
All right.
about becoming a realtor.
Real quick, what's your phone number for if you want to get somebody on the line for a
got a
listing?
main line?
You want to list a house? You want to list a
I'm
property?
going to
You
give
want
you
to?
my office number because
Sure.
I am satisfied with everybody in my office. It's 903-587-3301. If you want to talk to me personally, my cell phone number is 972-658-2084. I will answer that even if I'm in a deer stand.
There you go. That's a
That's
strong
too
commitment
available.
there.
That's too available. I can't.
I like it.
come to
That's
work for you.
Sudderth Real Estate here on the square in Leonard, Texas.
SRETexas.com, right? That's what we said.
SRETexas.com.
There you go.
We thank you for coming on, Rodger.
We do. We got
I've
5
enjoyed it.
questions. We got 5 questions for you. There's just quick questions here. When was the last time you were on a boat?
That's a good question. Did I write that? down?
Last year I was in Venice, Louisiana, fishing for redfish, and I had one of y'all's locals with me, Brent Hicks.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
He used to work for us in our drone and stuff, and I blessed him. I carried him on a Venice fishing trip.
There you go.
I'll say this now. I hope he listens to this. I
And he-
think I outfished him.
Shots fired.
Maybe he'll be.
I
our
wish I had
next
my
guest.
ricochet. My ricochet's gone.
Shout out, missed him.
All right, Jason.
My turn. All right, Roger. If you could have lunch with anyone dead or alive, who would that person be?
Gwen Stefani.
Ooh. Wow.
Like it.
All right.
She's attainable.
He
You
did
know
not
that,
know
right?
that.
You
She's
go
worth
right there.
$100 million.
you go striper fishing long enough, you'll probably meet her.
Yeah,
That's right. They're right up here in Tishomingo, Oklahoma.
They ran into. I know somebody that ran into them at the academy in Sherman,
Oh, God.
buying deer corn.
I'd have
Her and Blake.
I think she's an exceptional woman.
Well,
I didn't like her till her Christmas special last year.
That's an interesting pick there.
I like it.
I
I'm a
like the
fan.
fact that he had an answer ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Like she might be the screensaver on your phone.
yeah.
No, this subject come up in the restaurant today eating lunch.
Oh,
Oh, that's funny.
all right. So it's
And,
my turn.
Number 3, go ahead, Jay.
What would your another lunch-oriented one, maybe, or dinner, breakfast? I don't know. What would your last meal be?
My last meal
Yep.
be barbecue.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a
Brisket?
Texas boy.
Okay, brisket then.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love brisket barbecue.
Where is your favorite barbecue place?
Hickory in Bonham is one of my favorites.
I had that yesterday.
Yeah.
I had the Hickory Club.
It's that club, dude.
It is just
Like
good.
that
It's
club.
good, local, just down good
Have
old
you had-
greasy barbecue.
You know the owner?
Huh?
You know the owner?
No, no, not that well.
Well, if he wants to come on here and you're in there one day, say, hey, you got to check out the Siren and Leonard and go on
You're
and
getting free advertising.
promote your.
They catered my wedding.
He caters some stuff
Oh,
for
okay.
us all the time, so we're
Cool.
having him at one of our parties.
It's my turn.
Have you done any of the big barbecue places like Pecan Lodge or Franklin's?
They're good.
stuff? Yeah, they're good.
I just don't have the, to me, barbecue is out in the backyard, the smoker,
Agreed.
smelling the smoke,
Like
the
Snows.
cosmology
Yeah.
of it, and that's kind of what that is up there.
Yeah.
It's still old building. That's me.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
No, I got it.
That's
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Your turn.
dig
Jason.
it.
Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
Yeah.
That's a good one. I
I
like
love
it.
this question.
Probably us
That's kind of
three.
hard one because I've met a lot of famous people.
Us three.
Ooh.
I think the most
George W. Bush.
No,
No?
no, I think the most interesting one it was the guy that owns the Galleria of Tires,
Okay.
and I enjoyed meeting him more than anything.
What was the context of that meeting?
Buying land.
Buying land. Well, there you go.
One land question. What's the biggest listing as far as not price wise, but like land wise, acreage that has come across the market in your career?
In my career that
Yeah,
I've sold,
that you've dealt with either
As a
through
broker.
2,200 acres. 2,200 acres.
2,200. Okay.
Yeah, at one time I had a brokership down in Fredericksburg, so we still had some
Wow.
2,000 and 3,000
Oh, I
acre
love it
places
down
there.
there.
One of my
Wow.
favorite
Love it
cities.
down there.
Yeah,
That's
that was my follow up. Where is that happening? Where still
they-
has
was that also the biggest price wise?
Yeah.
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 Deep
That's
south,
sexy time.
deep west, we got a lot of big ranches, and I've never been able to sell them. I've been connected with a lot of them. The guy, we call him Mr. B, that owns Dos Equis, which has sold it for multiple billions of dollars, has got a big ranch out there out of Kent.
okay.
And I go out there and hunt on them, and
That's plateau country.
it's mule deer country.
Yeah, some muleys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's muleys
Yeah.
and all daddies, all
Yeah.
dads. But
They're almost like a pest too, right? Like
Yeah,
all
they're a
those-
pest.
They're like hogs.
Introduced species.
Yeah.
Non-native.
All right. So
Cool.
here's my last question: if you could find out the absolute truth to one question, what would it be? We always say aliens. You don't have to.
how long I'm gonna live?
Oh,
There you go.
I don't know what I don't want
I
to know.
don't think I
This
would
guy's
want
a
to know
straight
that.
shooter
I
with
would.
upper management written all over him.
Yep.
He just answers the question
Yep.
like he's
Well,
ready for
when
it.
you're 62,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
turned 63.
Yeah.
Every year after I've turned 60, I've noticed more pains in my body.
So
I said the same at 30.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what scares me. At 36,
So-
I feel terrible on the inside.
Yeah,
you
if the
know,
Lord would say you're going to live another 35 years,
Great.
or another 30 years, or 20
you make some
years,
plans.
You're going to start doing dangerous things.
I probably would.
Yeah, a little
I'm never
skydiving.
going to jump out of a good riding airplane.
Well, the siren's going to go do that here soon.
been
Yeah,
talking about
2/3 of
doing
the
that.
siren,
Y'all
maybe
can do
not.
that all you want to. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that one.
Well,
I'm a pretty heavy set boy, and I'm a little worried about bouncing.
well, Roger, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
we
was-
thank you
this
for
was a
your
good
time.
I enjoyed it.
All right, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Play it
Yeah.
out with some Dallas. Here we go.